Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Welcome back to our program. Today we will be looking at one interesting topic, which is conduct risk in Islamic banking. And the question here is, are Islamic bank delivering what financial consumer were led to believe? This is very important because the Islamic bank carry an Islamic label, and therefore whatever offering they are giving us must be based on Islamic law or Sharia, and therefore that will give us an assurance, that our transaction are blessed by Allah, and it is ibadah, and therefore Muslim will be able to feel at ease because now they are able to refrain from the riba-based transaction that they used to do prior to the establishment of Islamic banking. But then the issue here is the Islamic labeling must be able to evidence the true color. And therefore, when it comes to consumer financial protection, this is where we would like to see that the regulation is able to check and balance, and to see that the product offering of the Islamic bank are truly reflecting the Sharia principle, and therefore the consumer will be able to enjoy full Sharia compliant services. And therefore one of the objectives of this policy document on consumer financial protection is to set expectation for the bank to effectively manage conduct risk. And conduct risk refer to risk arising from a financial service provider's business conduct and practices that could result in poor financial consumer outcome. So what we are dealing here is that if the product offering do not evidence any form of Sharia compliance that were assumed to exist in the banking services, then this will result in disappointment and stress among consumers who felt that now their product, the product they are using, or the product that they enter into the transaction are not truly Islamic, and therefore they are still under the ribawi orbit. So what is poor financial consumer outcome due to the conduct risk? And one of which is that the bank do not deliver what financial consumer were led to believe or expect. So the consumer expect to see that the product are truly Islamic, and therefore what the bank should offer is the product that reflect the true Islamicity of the transaction. But the problem here is that many customer or many consumer, they do not know that the Quran prescribed sale over riba. They don't even know what is a sale. So whenever they come across Islamic banking, they are still thinking that the Islamic bank are giving out Islamic loan. The idea of the fact that the Quran has prescribed sale over riba is not in their dictionary because of the poor Islamic financial literacy. So the idea is that they go to the Islamic bank to get an Islamic loan. And therefore they are not keen to find out the kind of sale the bank is conducting in facilitating their finance. Whether the sale is a true sale or not a true sale, whether the bank take ownership of the goods before the bank make the resale to the customer, whether the bank faces ownership risk. This is not the ultimate concern of consumer, as they simply want the liquidity. And therefore the understanding of what a sale contract is, the education of Islamic finance is quite on the disappointing side. And therefore, when we look at the sale contract, which is quite alien to most consumers, this need to be further looked into, and education is an important platform for the consumer to understand well what they are getting from the bank. So some kind of education or some kind of information should be forwarded to the customer. Of course, these are the in the form of product disclosure sheets. But then when it comes to the contract and the important component of the contract, especially when we are dealing with sale, we want the bank to actually face the risk in the making of the sale, and therefore one of that would be ownership risk. And that ownership risk we can see inbuilt into the subject matter. So what is a sale? A sale is a transfer of ownership from the selling party to the buying party. A sale is an exchange of an asset for a price. So the price here must be set on the spot, and the subject matter is what we are dealing with. So the subject matter is the asset that is traded. Of course, the asset is halal. That seems to be the only point that many people are talking about, halal here and halal there. But equally important is the fact that the bank must take ownership, and consequently the bank must take ownership risk in the resale transaction. So the idea here is that the consumer must be able to understand now that they are not entering into a loan contract anymore with the Islamic bank, but they are entering into a contract of sale. And the contract of sale must evidence banking asset ownership, and consequently the assumption of asset ownership risk. So without the two rules above, the sale contract is contentious, meaning that it can be challenged in the court of law. The customer are not getting the product they were led to believe as fully compliant. So if the customer is to understand what is a sale, then if the sale does not contain asset ownership risk, or if in the sale the bank does not own what they sell, then this will injure the contract of sale, and therefore consumer will be disappointed for not getting what they are led to believe. This is a very important issue because when consumer are well and they are able to pay their debt on time and they eventually fulfill their loan obligation, there's no issue. But when they are under a default event, when customer are not able to pay and they have problem to settle the outstanding balance, and there is a potential bankruptcy coming in, the consumer under desperation may challenge the bank for not offering them a true sale contract. And customer can use Sharia as a defense mechanism to avoid bankruptcy. So when the customer are in trouble, they are not able to find money to settle their debts, and the bank are not cooperating enough to reschedule or to extend the maturity, and that caused a lot of tension between the two parties. And under that situation, the customer may be desperate enough to basically use the Sharia as a defense to defend himself or herself against impending bankruptcy. And this is when they will thoroughly study the contract that they have participated in with the bank, and if they were to find that the contract have gaps in which there is the gaps in the ownership structure and so on, so this is where they will challenge the bank in the court of law. And therefore right now the concept of sale is no longer something that we can overlook, but it is something that can appear to be very, very serious in the event of default. We can further discuss this matter later on, inshallah. Please share and comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Thank you.